Welcome back to American Nostalgia Garage. I'm Steve, and this is our 66 Nova project. We've been working on this thing a while, and there's one thing that's bothered me for a long time, and nothing I was able to do about it. It's right here. Sort of. Look down. It's actually what's behind right here. Or what's not behind right there, I should say. Why is there a ratchet strap down there? Well, that ratchet strap goes right underneath where I was just pointing, and that holds our hood down. And it just so happens that that's something I can't live with anymore. One, the hood actually doesn't it's not held down right. And two, if God forbid I need to get this thing open quickly, can't do it. Now you might be thinking, well, why don't you just buy one, dummy? You'd be right on the dummy comment, but you cannot buy one of those hood latches for this car. This is a 66, but it has a 67 nose on it, and you cannot buy a 67 hood latch. They don't make them. At least at the time of filming this video. They do not make them. They don't reproduce them. You can't get it. If you can find one on eBay or somewhere else, it's going to be crazy money, and that's if you can even find one. And at the time of filming again, couldn't find one. Now I'll go ahead and just say I wasn't very good at finding Waldo either. So there may be a hood latch somewhere for sale, but I looked as far as I want to look. You know how it is, guys. You know, when you have to look for something in the house, you can't find it, and then your wife comes and finds it in like 3 seconds. I don't know, it's just a thing. But nonetheless, I am going to show you, if you can't find one of these hood latches, how to make one. All right, now first things first, I got to open our hood. You can see, this is not fun. I guess if I needed to, because I do so many things with ratchet straps, you know, when you work like I do, like a barbarian, that you get pretty good with them. You know, I guess I could get this off fast if I needed to. All right, now, aside from our tassels hanging from our hood here, you can see there's something missing right here. And it does sort of mount the grill, actually, but there's supposed to be a hood latch in here. Now, if you know anything about the 66 and 67 Novas, the front end is slightly different. The grill is different. The hood latch itself is different. And the way they attach, also the support rod that goes down here and supports the bottom of the hood latch is also different. All of which are not reproduced for the 67. But because the 66 is the closest thing to a 67, I bought a 66 hood latch, and we're going to see if we can modify it to make it fit. All right. Well, we do have one of our chickens. This is Juno, and she's joining us today, I guess. Grab a wrench. So here is our 66 hood latch. Now, I do believe that there are some dimensional differences just because of the way the grill is on the 66 versus the 67. I believe the height here is different. I believe the width here is different. But it does take the same, like, just latching piece that goes in here. And the hood is the same, so this, like, secondary latch will still latch on the hood. So I'm just going to bolt this into place as closely as I feel like I can get it. And then we're just going to try to close the hood and see what happens. Alright, well, I have the hood latch loosely bolted in there. I just have some 1/4-20 bolts holding it into the grill. The first thing I notice is that the original bolt holes that go into the rad support are, I don't know, 1 inch to 1.5 inches lower than I think they're supposed to be. Again, this is a 67 grill with a 66 hood latch. From what I understand, the hood latch itself would be a little bit more flat for the 67, the originals, and the grill for a 66 is shorter. If this latch was going on a 66, it would have been a lot lower because the grill isn't as high. And if this car came with a hood latch, this hood latch would be flatter, I guess. Now, I'm not going to cut here and bend it down. What I'll probably do, because it's easier, is I'll just, the holes that go into the rad support, I'll just drill new holes and put nuts on the back. Or I'll weld a nut on this side and have a bolt come in. Whatever it is, whatever's easier, whatever's cleaner, I'll probably do. But it's located side to side where it's supposed to be. It is floating there, and the grill is really the only thing holding it. Now I'm going to shut it. This is the first thing I see. This is as low as I can get the hood. And on this side, that's it. So that's not all the way down. So that's not all the way down, and you can see it's kind of like leveraging the hood up there. The first thing that actually hits, believe it or not, is the first thing that seems to hit is the body of this latch mechanism here, this part. This latch here does go into the hole where it's supposed to, of course, but the actual base of that, the structure that holds that on, it's like too high. And again, we're mixing and matching pieces. I don't believe this part is different, 66 to 67. But this part is, and the way that they interact, obviously, is going to change when you use mismatched parts. So I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up having to cut the body of this mount up in the hood to make it shorter. Because again, we're using the tall hood latch with the tall hood. Puts everything up higher than it should be. So that room has to come out of somewhere. Am I going to get that whole 1.5 inches? I'm not sure if I can get that out of here. Especially not keeping the adjustment in this piece here. But that's what we're here to see. We're going to find out. All right, now before we cut anything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off and then see if I can close the hood down to the height that I want it to be at. Because if that's the case and we can get it down to where it would be like normally closed, then we know that that's what's stopping us. Or really this, but because we can't buy this, we've got to change that. Make sense? Probably not. So just keep watching. Now you may notice I didn't mark where this went and make any reference points whatsoever, which because I'm always in a rush doing everything. Which is fine because I'll just spend triple the amount of time relocating when I put it back on. All right, we lost audio on the GoPro because, you know, GoPro cameras are the best. Anyway, what I'm showing here is that the hood goes all the way down like it's supposed to. All right, so here I'm placing the hood latch in place and trying to figure out where exactly I want to drill the holes in the radiator support. I want them to be just above where the old holes are, just so I know that I'm locating the hood latch in the correct space. Now here I am drilling a pilot hole just to give myself a starting point. I'm just checking the alignment now just to make sure that my bolt holes are where I want them to be before I open them up. Now you're also drilling into the radiator here, people, so try to put something there to protect the radiator so when you punch through with the drill bit you don't destroy something. I didn't do that, but be better than me. Here I am showing the alignment of the holes just to verify that they're exactly where they should be, and they are lined up, so I'm pretty happy with this. We can move forward. Okay, now you can see me taking a tape measure, and what I'm doing is I'm actually measuring the difference in height between my bolt holes and the existing bolt holes. That's going to be the difference in height between the two different latches and setups and how the parts intermingle. So that's going to be the distance I'm going to have to take out of our upper latch piece. Alright, so here I knocked down all the rust, so we have a good base to weld. Here I'm showing that basically that pin needs to be located in the same spot. The latch pulls on that shoulder on that little pin there, and if it's not lined up right, it's not going to be right. So here's that line that coincides with where the pin needs to be located, so we know that we get that located vertically and horizontally the correct way. Now I'm showing here that the meat of the bracket is what we're going to be removing. I measured 1 inch and 1/8 on my bracket had to be removed, but please don't just cut 1 inch and 1/8 out of your bracket. If you do this, make sure you measure the distance that you need to have, and then you cut it accordingly. Now here I'm showing my mark. You could see what I'm going to cut away or where I'm going to make my cut. Basically what I need to do is I need to keep the base of the bracket that mounts to the hood and the part that goes to the latch. Those are the only two things that need to end up in the same spot and need to be kept. Everything in between can go. So that's what we're cutting. So here I ended up with the latch part that goes to the hook on the latch. And basically I separated the upper latch into 3 pieces. I've got the top portion where the hook goes. I've got the 2 feet. And then I've got the middle section that I cut out. I guess the feet would be 2 sections, but you know what I mean. Don't forget to line up all the marks that you made earlier to make sure that everything goes back in the correct orientation. Now I'm going to do the most organized and safe thing and weld this directly in my hand with no mask. Alright, good morning. It's a new day. We're going to pick up where we left off. Hopefully today we have audio. That would be nice. If we do have audio, you can probably hear that there is some sort of battle royale with leaf blowers in 17 different people's backyards here, so that's cool. Anyway, to catch you up with what we've done so far, basically to where we are now, all we did was shorten this latch piece. What I'm going to need to do now is extend this out a little bit. I'm going to get this back in there. We're also going to have to clearance the radiator support just a little bit for the secondary latch here, and we'll probably clearance the secondary latch just a little bit so that we don't have to cut a huge slice in this thing. Alright, with our latch in place, you can see the secondary latch here hits the radiator support. So we're going to have to clearance that because obviously this would never have been this high on this vehicle had it all the right stuff. So we're going to clearance, we're going to make a slit here in the radiator support where this little witness mark is, and then I'm going to kind of trim off the top of our secondary latch. That way it goes underneath, because I don't want to cut all the way through to the back here. I just want to cut a little window here for this latch to go underneath the top of the radiator support. All right, there it is. This is what I wanted. I just want this to be able to go back into the radiator support so it can back off of the latch above far enough in order to be able to unlatch it. Now I'm realizing I just said unlatch and latch and latch 57 times, so you might not be able to follow what I'm latching here. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I need that little latch to go far enough back to unlatch from the latch. Is that clearer? Good. All right, now what I'm doing now is I want to mount the top part of our latch, and I'm going to feed a little bit of a spacer behind where the back of the latch is, because the top of this latch actually doesn't sit against the radiator support either. So that's something that you have to account for, and the reason is because the radiator support, the stamping kind of like moves backwards there. It's kind of like it just makes a gap. So I'm filling the gap with an approved spacer. All right, that's pretty sturdy with it bolted in there. Now I'm going to bring the hood down, make sure my location is right, which I kind of looked at before, it should be, and then we got to check the depth for the upper latch portion. Oh, it's latched. And it's actually, the depth is pretty good. Seems to have worked already. All right, let's try this. Oh yeah. Let's do it again. Okay, well, that actually was easier than I thought it was going to be. It's on. Now, obviously, there's, you know, some adjusting that I got to do. I still have to adjust the hinges because I'm still not really happy with those back there in the top of the hood there. And I'm just noticing there's a whole bunch of scratches along the top of the hood here. Although this car may look decent on the video, and I'll be honest, it does look really good in person, I've really not done the right thing by this car. I don't have enough space because we've got 57 projects going on at any given time. So this has been sitting outside all summer, which pains me. And you know, it was my first like real paint job, and the paint's on there good. It's just there's some spots that after I painted it, just the assembly, I chipped some stuff, and the wet sanding I didn't do perfectly. If I was going to do things again, I would do it in a different order, probably. But let's not get off topic here, although we already did. This hood latch thing works. Look at that. Now, if you guys missed it, the reason that we did this in the first place is because you can't buy a 67 hood latch. You can buy a 66 hood latch. We bought a 66 hood latch and we made it fit our 67. And it does. And I'll be honest, while making this video, I wasn't entirely sure it was going to work. But I'm proud to say that my brain, although it didn't think anything through here, must have been on to something, because it does work. Now, I will say that may not be it. For your car, you may need to adjust this in or out. I left as much length on the back as possible. That way I have it, just in case I needed to adjust it out. As it turns out, this was pretty much set perfect. What is left to do is to add, I'm not sure which hole it goes in. It's going to coincide with this here. Is going to be the hood bumpers. They'll screw into this. They'll rest there. That way when you pull the hood down, there's something to kind of push up against the hood in the two corners here and keep it stabilized so it's not shaking. Even though it's latched there, they'll give it something so that it won't shake around. Now we can get rid of this. Actually, we're not going to get rid of that. We'll probably use it for something else, but it ain't going to be on here no more. Now, I know, I do get comments about being long-winded, but I'm only trying to give you guys as many details as possible. And I don't write scripts for my videos or anything like that. I just kind of like go right off the cuff. So I'm trying to give you guys as much information as possible. If it's repetitive, I'm sorry. I'm hoping that it's repetitive to your benefit, hearing me say it multiple times. But there it is. We're making parts for this thing that you can't buy. I hope you guys appreciate the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you get some value out of the video. I hope you save some money out of the video and get parts that you can't find. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. Drop a like below. Share the video with a friend. That would be really awesome. I appreciate every one of you guys, and thank you guys for watching. American Nostalgia Garage, out.